In this video, I'm planning on showing you how to put numbers into your calculator in scientific notation. And just as a reminder, scientific notation, I have some numbers written down right here. So this would be, say, 3.10 times 10 to the third, 4.6 times 10 to the third. These are all numbers that are, all of these numbers that I have written here are numbers that are written in scientific notation. And if you need to add or subtract or multiply or divide or use a number that's written in scientific notation in a calculation, it's important to know how to put it into your calculator. So I have two different calculators here. I have the one that I normally use, which is a TI-89, and then I just have a basic, kind of old, everyday calculator that, in case you don't have a graphing calculator. So I want to show you both just so you can see. And this is going to be easier with like the graphing calculator, but the other calculator will work for this as well. So I'll show you first, let's do this first one. So 3.10 times 10 to the third plus 4.6 times 10 to the third. So first of all, I'm going to do it on the TI-89. And all I do, so for both calculators, all you're going to look for is on the TI-89, there's this EE button, it's right here. And then on this calculator, there's a EXP button. So that's the button you'll look for on that one. So you're either going to be just looking for an EE or an EXP button on your calculator. And there might be some other variations of that, but I think generally it's just these two. So on the TI-89 for this first one, we'll just type it in, so 3.10. And then I'll show you two ways to do this, but the way I'm going to show you first is the preferred way. So we want to hit the E and then just 3. And the reason why we can do that is because 3.10 times 10 to the third, this is equivalent to 3.10 e to the third, or this can also be written with this, you'll see it like this sometimes too, but this is just a different way to write these numbers. So this e basically replaces the times 10 in this equation. So let me just write that a little bit better. So 3.10 times 10 to the third, and this times 10 is equivalent to the e. So we can write this as 3.10 e to the third. And these are both the same number. So on the calculator we have 3.10 e to the third plus, and then 4.6 e to the third. So this is equal to 7.7. And so the calculator gives you e to the third, so 7.7 e to the third, but you'll want to write your answer as 7.7 times 10 to the third. And then of course this is equal to 7,700, and you can change the mode on this particular calculator. So if you go to mode, right now I have this, so where it says exponential format, and then right now I have it set to scientific. Actually, go back to mode. You can change this to normal, and then it will give you the answer in normal notation instead of scientific notation. If it's below a certain number, like this exponent's 10 to the third, I think if it's over about 10 to the 11th or 10 to the 12th or so, it's going to give it to you in scientific notation, whether you have the mode in normal or scientific. But so depending on how you want your answer to show up, if it's 10, like if it's only 10 to the third, if you have it on normal, it's going to show up as 7,700. And if you have it in scientific, it's going to show up as 7.7 times 10 to the third. And then there's another format here, so this is engineering format. So this one should show up with an E. Well, actually, so that's the same as the scientific notation in this calculator. Let's go back up. So I'm just going to put this back into scientific notation. So let's do, and then I want to show you real quick, theoretically on this particular calculator you could also do 3.1 times 10 to the third plus 4.6 times 10 to the third, and you'll end up with the same thing. The issue with doing the times 10 to whatever number is if we come down here to this one that we're dividing, suddenly we have to put brackets around this number because it will do the divide before it multiplies this by 10 to the negative 5. So I'll just show you that. So the first one, 4.2 times 10 to the negative 7. So I'm doing this bottom one right now just to show you why you don't want to use 10 to a number. Divided by, and then we have to put brackets around this. So 6.2 times 10 to the negative 5. And we get 6.77 times 10 to the negative 3. So 6.77 times 10 to the negative 3. So I'm doing so this is showing the E, but E is, remember, times 10, so I can write down this number in scientific notation even though it's giving it to me in the calculator with an E. So if I hadn't have put the brackets on this, I'll just take them off real quick. Whoops. It gives me the wrong number, and the reason why is because without the brackets, it multiplies this 4.2 times 10 to the negative 7, then it divides by 6.2, and then it multiplies by 10 to the negative 5. So, and you can see what it's doing here, like what it printed out. So if you do the E, so let's work on this last one some more. So 4.2 E to the negative 7 divided by 6.2 E to the negative 4. And let's see. Oh, sorry, it's negative 5. There, so 6.77 times 10 to the negative third. So when you put this number in with the E, like the exponent, it treats this 6.2 E to the negative 5 as one number. Whereas when you put it in, like let's just go back up here. When you put it in with the 10 to the power, it treats it as two separate numbers because that's really what it is. So now let's do the one to subtract. So I have 3.8 E to the third, because remember we want to use E instead of 10 to the power, minus 4.6 E squared to the second power. That is equal to 3.34 times 10 to the third. And now let's do the one that we're going to multiply. So this would be 3.8 E to the third times 8.2 E to the negative fourth. And that is equal to 3.116. And so this has E to the 0, but that's, I mean, you could put times 10 to the 0, but usually you wouldn't. So 3.116. Okay, so that's calculating these numbers with the TI, and I think that most of the TIs are pretty similar to this one. Now let's do it on this other calculator. So on this other calculator, first of all, you want to make sure that everything's cleared. And let's do this first one. So the way we're going to put this in is we type the number, so 3.1. And I'm just going to put a 0 on it too because I have a 0 here. So I have 3.10. And then I press the exponent button. And so see, now it has 3.10, and then it has the slot here that the exponent is going to go. So I'm going to put a 3 equals. So 3.100 is equivalent to, like, that's the scientific notation for 3100. So 3.10 times 10 to the third is equal to 3100. So it just gave us that number when we put it in scientific notation. So now I want to say plus, and then I put 4.6, and I want 10 to the third, so I'm going to do E, and then I put in the 3. And that's equal to, and then we got the 7700. So this calculator is just going to give us these answers in normal notation, at least for this number. So 7700 is correct for that one. Now let's clear it and do the one that we're going to subtract. So I have 3.8, and then I have times 10 to the third, so I'm going to do exponent, and then a 3 to, so I have 3.8 times 10 to the third in the calculator. If I hit equal, that's equal to 3800. And then I have minus 4.6, and then I have times 10 to the second power. So I do exponent 2, and then equals, and I get 3340. And on this calculator, I'd gotten 3.34 times 10 to the third. That's the same thing as 3340. This one's just in normal notation, and this one is in scientific notation. So now let's do the multiply. So let's clear this. Now I have 3.8, and it's times 10 to the third, so I'm going to do E to the third. And then I've been pressing equals, but you don't actually have to with this. I can just hit times, and now it's ready for the next number. So 8.2, and then I have E to the negative 4. So E, and then I hit this button right here to do a negative number, so negative 4. And that's equal to, and I have 3.116. So that's the same answer I got with the TI. So that's hopefully the correct answer. So I'm going to clear this. Now I want to do the divide. So I have 4.2 times 10 to the negative 7. So I put that in, 4.2, hit the exponent. And then I have a negative 7, so I'm going to hit this plus minus to get a negative, and then I do the 7. And then I'm dividing, so I do divide. And notice how it automatically just put that number into normal notation. So this is this 0.0000004 is the 4.2 times 10 to the negative 7 so this one's in scientific notation, and the one on the calculator is now in normal notation. So I have divide, and then I'm ready to put in the next number. So 6.2, and then I do the exponent, negative 5, that's equal to, and then notice how this calculator gave this to me in normal notation, so I can write that down. So 0.00677, and I'm going to round off the 4.1, so I just have this. And then I can put this into the same notation as this number by just moving the decimal. So 1, 2, 3, so that would be equal to 6.77 times 10 to the negative third. So now I'm going to clear this. So one thing that you might have noticed is you can actually get your number in the normal notation if you put it in this calculator in scientific notation. So let's say we wanted to get the 6.2 times 10 to the negative 5 in normal notation. We can just put it in here. So 6.2 exponent, hit the plus minus for negative 5, hit equals, and then this 0.000062 is this 6.2 times 10 to the negative 5 in normal notation. So that's how you put scientific notation into at least these two calculators. Most calculators should be similar to one of these two. There might be, like if you have a small calculator like this one, sometimes there's a difference in the order that you have to put in your mantissa and your exponents. So if you look at a number that, like let's just look at this number, so 6.77 times 10 to the negative third. So this number is in scientific notation. This is called the mantissa, and this is called the exponent. So just for some terminology. Anyway, so I've been putting the number into the TI-89 pretty much how it's written. So 4.2 e to the -3. This one is you put in the number, so 4.2, hit the exponent, and then you put in, you hit the exponent button, and then you put in your exponent, so -3. Whoops, something went wrong with that. Clear it, 4.2 e -2. So yeah, 0.042. So some calculators have a difference in the order that you have to put in the mantissa and the exponent, so definitely check that, but just whatever calculator you have, just look for the EE or the exponent button in order to put things into your calculator in scientific notation. Thank you.